I've been absolutely stitched up here, a belter. How are you supposed to follow those two? All I've got here is 4 pages of eyebrow jokes. Good afternoon, everybody. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Cammy. I'm Jordan's best man. And for anyone that does know me, just laugh, please. Fake laughs, I'll take anything that's going well. I must admit, I've been absolutely really cool about this, but I'm completely bricking it today. Gav will tell you can literally smell the fear off me. However, I must admit, Teagan is every bit as nervous as me. This is the only part of the wedding that she hasn't planned. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here, standing here as best man. It's a special day full of love, joy, laughter, and going on nearly 9-10 years in the making. But anyway, that's enough about Flag Day at Ibrox tomorrow. Didn't take me long, John, did it? No. I guess I'll start by thanking the groom for giving me the honour of being his best man. I was absolutely over the moon to be asked, and I hope I do it justice. That being said, looking at other ushers this afternoon, I'm sure I was the only viable option. Jordan asked to be his best man 2 years ago, and I thought we'd get loads of stories over the next couple of years. And of course, we've been COVID up and we've hardly seen each other. So I then went online and started to Google great best man speeches. But that was flawed, because you have to pay for the good ones. I mean, I love Jordan and all that, but I'm not paying for that. Therefore, what I'll need to do is go back into the archives to give you an insight into Jordan and our friendship. So I first met Jordan when the two of us started high school. He was a year below me, and to be honest, I didn't think much of him. Thought he was this wee guy with curly hair, massive eyebrows, and a bit too much to say for himself. However, I'm sure you'll agree that's all completely changed. My friendship... My friendship with Jordan really blossomed when we were around 16, 17. Me, him and a friend, Johnny Cochrane, were inseparable. And when Johnny went off to New Zealand, our friendship really took off. We had similar interests, loved our football, going out, and general horsing around. Fiona, Jordan's lovely mother, would always ask Jordan, "Where are you off to? Where are you going? What are you up to?" And Jordan's reply would always be the same: "I'm just going down to chill at Cammy's. I'm just chilling at Cammy's." Now what Fiona doesn't know, and doesn't know to this day, is that when we were chilling at Cammy's, we were always joined by 2 other men, a Mr. William Hill and Mr. Paddy Power. That's right, Fiona, chilling at Cammy's was very much code for gambling the Iceland wages away on ridiculous horses. Needless to say, this is our most common interest, and where our friendship really took off. My friendship with Jordan wasn't always plain sailing. I was there from the tough times as well. There was, of course, the bedwetting stage. I don't know what he's laughing at, it's a difficult time for everybody. Most of us are 5 or 6, Jordan was 19. I'm not joking, for about a 6-month spell, Jordan must have pissed the bed about 10 times. Even when we went up to our empty in Edinburgh, Jordan's crashed on the couch and managed to piss the couch. Jordan's toilet troubles don't end there, but I promise we'll have more on that later. Another difficult time was, of course, when Teagan went travelling to Australia and Jordan stayed back in Scotland. We all know that long-distance relationships can be really tough, and this was a very, very difficult time. Mainly for me. Because if you think Jordan's a pain in the arse just now, you should see him with testicles the size of grapefruits. I'll be honest, I was a bit scared to put that joke in because I know Teagan's dad, this hard man from the East End of Glasgow. However, I've got to know him over the past 3-4 weeks, and it turns out he likes his long bike rides and peppermint tea, so that bit went right back in. Anyway, what about the absolute nick of Ryan Dalrymple up the Vegas Strip last night? Oh, sorry, these are old notes. Unfortunately, Vegas wasn't meant to be, and that was a massive shame. However, what about this for an alternative? The place looks great, ceremony was lovely, and can't wait for the rest of the night. Looking back at it now, it was probably for the best. Jordan would have been the only man late for his own wedding, having just come through customs. Garish? Really? No, I don't think so. I'll be honest, I was worried about that joke as well. That accent was sounding Jamaican in rehearsals. John's ethnicity has always been a point of humour and confusion, shall we say. We always went on lads' holidays and people can't quite figure out where he's from. Obviously, I won't say too much. We're in 2021. Got a lot of snowflakes out there, of course. What I would say though is we chose to dress Jordan up for his stag do. I'm sure some of you have seen the pictures. But let's just say my Amazon account thinks that I'm a terrorist that plays golf and dresses up as a woman. Honestly, some of my next purchase recommendations would get you to jail. What I would say though, it was great to see that Miss Sweden really enjoyed Miss Iran's costume. Especially when we were younger, Jordan was always confused for someone coming from a different background. I get it, he's got that kind of sallow skin, foreign looking beard, and the thickest black hair you'll ever see in your life. Now thankfully most of you won't see that thick black hair because it's on his backside. Unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say that I've seen it. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about Jordan's hairy arse on his wedding day. That would be completely inappropriate. What I will say though is if anybody loses anything today, or even if somebody goes missing, that forest in his backside is where we should start looking. That brings me nicely to eyebrows. This speech is a piece of piss. All I've said is eyebrows and you're laughing, but... So, as you all know, Jordan wasn't blessed in the eyebrow department. And it's a lifetime of trying to keep on top of these bad boys. They've been on such a journey over the years, and of course I've came at us in different forms. There was, of course, the original 2 dead rats on his forehead. Closely followed by Jim's dad from American Pie. Who can forget the baby caterpillar chasing its mother? And my all-time favourite for about 2 years was the 2 tadpoles squaring up to each other. Poor Jordan's had a lifetime of trying to maintain the bad boys, but I'm not going to slag it much longer. He's had a hard time, but it's such an easy joke to make. Instead, Jordan, I'm going to give you one piece of advice, and one piece of advice only. And that would be to grow those eyebrows out as thick as you possibly can. Because let me tell you, now that you're married, those eyebrows are the only bush you're going to be seeing. And while I'm on the subject, Mount Vernon is the only mountain you'll be doing as well. Back to the hair on his head. Looking at Jordan today, I think you know he looks very smart, well groomed, and has a great haircut. However, as many as you know, this always wasn't the case. For several years, Jordan was sporting what can only be described as the biggest comb-over known to man. This comb-over finished about here, but I'm sure it started halfway down his back. Oh, I lost my place. For about 6 years, Jordan didn't need pockets in his jeans. He used to lift up this comb-over and shove his wallet underneath it. He was appropriately named Wiggy by some of the boys and still is to this day. Now, much like his arse, it's the thickest black hair on the planet. And as you can imagine, any sort of humidity doesn't quite agree with it. This was highlighted in one of our first lads' holidays away to Malia. The boys were all buzzing on the bus from the airport, just singing songs, just couldn't wait to get out. Jordan took one step off the bus, went up to a nice looking lady and started to talk to her. She looked at him up and down, had a look at his hair and said the words, "Just because you're on holiday doesn't mean you can't get a haircut." Needless to say, that was the beginning and the end of the comb-over haircut. Gone but not forgotten, of course. However, after he moved to a decent haircut, Teagan was shortly on the scene, so that speaks volumes, to be honest. So So around about this time, Jordan took a real shine to Nando's and they're constantly asking us who fancies a Nando's. Let's go for a cheeky Nando's. Now I'm quite fond of a Nando's myself, so I'm more than happy to oblige. However, we soon found out that Jordan was after something that wasn't on the menu. With 2 people serving and a massive queue, Jordan would try and time the queue just right to get Teagan to serve him. Oh, it's cute, isn't it? I mean, it's not quite Romeo and Juliet, but the Iceland boy got the Nando's girl in the end. Teagan was introduced to the boys shortly after and fitted in almost straight away. She was chatty, outgoing, and just great to be around. She was just lovely, to be honest. I remember looking at her and looking at Jordan and thinking there must be something seriously wrong with her. She was this beautiful looking girl, lovely smile, great personality, and 2 of the biggest eyes you'll ever see in your life. However, turns out there's nothing wrong with her at all, just very low standards in men. When I read the next bit, I know what's coming, honestly. So it's calmed down a lot now, but when I first started with Teagan, I thought she's got the voice of an absolute angel. If that angel had 5 veins and grew up in Mary Hill all her days. However, I'm under strict instructions not to slag Teagan or her voice today. It's her wedding day and all. All I'll say is Teagan's the only person I know to get a knockback from River City for sounding too Glaswegian. At this point, I'd like to point out how absolutely beautiful Teagan looks today. I would also like to point out how delighted I am that she's not wearing her old lady Crocs that she's been sporting recently. I'm only joking. Teagan, you look absolutely amazing today. And you know I think the absolute world of you. I think you're just the most caring person I've ever met in my life. And you certainly made Jordan a better version of himself. Anyway, that being said, let's get back to the worst version of Jordan. The one thing I want to slag Jordan about is his career. From his Iceland days... What's funny about that, actually? From his Iceland days, he made a difficult decision to go back to uni in his early 20s. He's now built up his experience and starts a new job next month. You deserve every success that comes your way in your career, mate. Again, even more respect for Jordan when I met him for a pint after work and was introduced to his uni mates. Oh my God. You've all seen the in-betweeners. These guys are the ones that didn't make the cut for the in-betweeners. In fact, they make the in-betweeners look like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. I had so much respect for Jordan when he'd put up with these characters for 4 years. I'm being harsh. Any Jordan's uni mates here today? No bloody wonder, Jordan. Jordan's first love, and probably true love, was of course the famous Glasgow Rangers. From a very young age, Jordan had a great affection for Rangers and still does to this day, of course. Jordan would spend a lot of his younger days following Rangers up and down the country with the legend that is Gav Diel. My favourite story from this time is when Rangers were in Barcelona for the Champions League. Now let me tell you, there's no better feeling than travelling Europe, getting absolutely hammered and watching your team. But at this moment in time, Jordan's a bit too young to drink. Gav Diel, on the other hand, isn't. You can see where this is going. So they're walking home, zigzagging along the pavement, and as you do, Gav decides it's time to relieve himself. So he pulls over and starts to do his business. Now, to Jordan's dismay, he noticed that Gav is relieving himself all down his jeans. So Jordan, being Jordan, says, "Dad, what the hell are you doing? You're pissing down your jeans." Gav Diel stares at him and starts bursting out laughing. He says, "Dad, what are you laughing at? It's not funny, it's not funny." Gav Diel, still laughing, stares at him in the face and says, "These are the only jeans I've got with me." Needless to say, the flight home the next day was thinking of pish and Lynx Africa. All joking aside, Jordan comes from an amazing, loving family. Gav and Fiona made him into man of the day, and you should be so proud to see him on his wedding day here today. Now I promise you, for God's sake. Now I promise you we'd go back to Jordan's disgusting toilet habits, and this one tops a lot. So we're at an empty, nobody's in this room, just for a point of reference, and Jordan's got a night out with his football team, so he's all suited and booted. So we've been partying all night, and the news gets out that Jordan is coming back to this empty after his night out. So we thought, great, it'd be good to see the wee man, that would be great. So a few hours go by and he's not arrived. And we didn't really take much notice, to be honest. We assumed Jordan maybe got a better offer or he'd went elsewhere. What we do notice though is that somebody's been in the bathroom for well over an hour. So we look around the empty, count up the heads, and everyone's accounted for. So well, that's weird. So we chat the door a few times, no response. We've shouted into the bathroom, no response. So as concerned citizens, we decide it's time to start opening this door. So my good friend Grant there has got a coin out and he somehow managed to prise open this bathroom door. Now let me tell you, what's staring back at us is nothing short of a massacre. I'll get the disgusting part out of the way. First of all, there's a jobby in the toilet. And Jordan DL lying face down on the floor, pants at his ankles, sleeping. He'd snuck, oh you're son, Fiona. He'd obviously snuck into the empty, thought I'll do my business very quickly, fell asleep halfway through and fell off a toilet pan. And let me tell you, it gets better. So we wake him up, say, Jordan, what you doing? You fell asleep halfway down the toilet, you drove me in the pan and all that. Jordan then stands up and says, that wasn't me. This man literally got caught, pants at his ankles and denied all knowledge. But let me tell you folks, his ability to stone-faced deny that tells me he's going to be the greatest husband of all time. So I'm going to have to stop because I could be here all night, honestly. So in writing this speech, I promised myself I would just come up here, tell terrible jokes and slag Jordan, and not go soppy and everybody towards the end. However, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Jordan, it has been an absolute honour to have been your best man, and I hope I've done it justice. You're the nicest, most genuine person I've ever met in my life, and I'm so proud to call you my best mate. If you can work on the few things that I've discussed this afternoon, you're going to be an absolute amazing husband. Teagan, anyone that's been in your company, even for a brief amount of time, thinks the world of you. You're just such a great person, and you're so fun to be around. You're a credit to yourself and a credit to your lovely family as well. You're going to be an amazing wife. In terms of Jordan and Teagan, I've never known two people who you just knew were going to go the distance almost straight away. Even through any kind of highs and any kind of lows, I think most of us all knew these two were always going to end up together forever. I just view the two of you now as a team that will get through absolutely anything life throws at you. So whether that be kids, houses, new jobs, whatever life throws at you, I know the two of you will be able to handle it together. It's so cliche, I know, but I genuinely can't think of two people who are more meant to be with each other than you two. On that note, folks, if I could just get everybody to raise a glass. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of absent friends, absent family, on behalf of everybody in this room, we'd like to wish you all a lifetime of health and happiness and an absolutely amazing marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, to the bride and groom,